Good afternoon and welcome to the video. We got a lot of comments recently saying, Tim, D23 just happened and there were a lot of announcements at the Parks and Resorts panel. So we wanted to go over all of those announcements with you guys. So the first question, to start it all off with is, what is D23?
What is it? Well,
what is it?
We asked ourselves and we're like, I don't really know how to answer that. So I'm going to give you the answer just from Wikipedia, from Disney Wikipedia. So D23, the full name is D23, the official Disney fan club, and it is the official fan club for the Walt Disney Company. It was founded in 2009, and the organization is known for its biennial exposition event, which I think that means every 2 years?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's every 2 years. And the name D23 refers to D for Disney and 23 for 1923, which is the year that Walt Disney founded the company.
Very
so,
cool.
yeah, I didn't know that. I mean, I knew what it was. I knew it was like a Disney con, basically, but I couldn't have explained it. So, thanks, Wikipedia. Some of you guys were also asking if we went to D23. We did not go. It was this past weekend, and it was in Anaheim at the Anaheim Convention Center?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we weren't there. Hopefully we can go, not next year, but the next year because it's biennial.
So there were a lot of announcements at D23, and we're just going to be going over the ones that were at the Parks and Resorts panel. One of the first things is Star Wars Land. We got a name for Star Wars Land, and that is Galaxy's Edge.
Is it called Star Wars Land? Like ... Galaxy's Edge?
I think it's just called Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Is it? I just wonder if it's like Pandora, because that was like Pandora, the world of Avatar.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's a kind of a cool name. I don't know if that's supposed to mean like it's like the edge of our world and like the beginning of their world and like they're merging at Streets of America.
Maybe. Like Muppet Vision is the edge of the galaxy.
Ooh. So maybe the Muppets are more important than we think.
Maybe. Pigs in Space?
Yeah.
I hope so. We also got the fact that there's two rides. So we got the First Order versus the Resistance ride, which there was a little model of the ride vehicle at D23.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it kind of looks a lot like the Ratatouille ride vehicle. So there's been some speculation that maybe it's going to be another trackless dark ride, very similar to Ratatouille, Antarctica, rides like that.
Okay.
We also got the announcement of a Millennium Falcon ride, where you get to pilot the Millennium Falcon.
Here's what I'm hearing when you're saying all of these things. I'm hearing that these are going to be screen-based rides.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's bad, but I think that it's maybe going to make people unhappy.
Right. So the good news is both of those rides are going to be screen-based, but the idea is that the entire land is going to be so immersive that people won't be as mad at the fact that it will be a screen-based ride because you're going to have characters walking around.
Yeah.
The guy that's taking your order at the cantina, which by the way, we did get an announcement that there's going to be a cantina serving blue milk. He's going to be full costume, makeup, prosthetics. He will look like a Star Wars character.
Which to me is like nuts that these like cast members are going to have to go through like probably movie grade makeup.
Yeah.
Every shift.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Not for them, more for us, but like I'm excited to see that. And I think this kind of reminds me again of Pandora, where Pandora had two rides, Pandora has two rides, and the land itself is very impressive, but the rides, I guess not everybody is a fan of the rides.
Right.
I am. I love them both. But I think the land was supposed to kind of make up for that.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like with Star Wars Land. Although the model that they showed at D23, like that, I'm not even a Star Wars person. And that looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked really massive too.
I can't wait. It did look really big. Do you think it's going to be that big?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to look that up, what size it is. I think it's around 12 acres.
Really?
Maybe that's the entire, both Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land.
Okay, because that sounds big.
12 acres is the size of Pandora.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's 12 acres?
I think so, yeah.
It doesn't seem that big.
I don't know.
Pandora seems very small, just so you guys know. Like, I don't know if you can tell from the videos, but it's tiny.
Yeah.
Like, you can walk from one point, like, from the beginning to the end, I mean, very quickly. It's very small. But it's very cool and impressive. So, I hope that Star Wars Land is a bigger land.
Yeah.
I think it deserves to be bigger.
Yeah. Well, you can kind of get a feel for it from, say, take for instance yesterday, or the last video where we went to Disney's Hollywood Studios, and we'll put a link up here in the corner, and we'll put one down in the description down below to that video, so you guys can check it out, because we kind of walked around the area, And Star Wars Land is running from Mama Melrose over to Muppet Vision 3D.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty big area.
I'm excited. I am very excited to see the land itself.
Another thing about Star Wars Land 2, and speaking of people being dressed up in costume, Disney's going to be taking more advantage of the Magic Band technology and kind of not necessarily tracking you, but putting stats on your Magic Band. So say you do really good in the ride for the First Order versus the Resistance, or you do really good at piloting the Millennium Falcon, they will transmit that information via your Magic Band to different characters or cast members throughout the park.
So they're going to be like, hey, sharpshooter.
Yeah, you're going to have a reputation.
Yeah.
Which is really
interesting.
interesting.
I wonder if that carries over trip to trip, or if it's is new each time.
That's a good question.
Huh.
And another thing that does carry over too, that was another announcement, is we have the Star Wars Hotel coming.
Which, again, I'm not a Star Wars person. Like, I have not seen all the movies. I'm not super into it. But, like, the hotel idea of it sounds so cool.
Yeah, so just imagine going to a Star Wars convention, right? You're dressed up in cosplay. You're, like, into it. But instead of just going around and like, oh, I'm buying stuff from a booth, or there's like, just like normal stuff happening, you're in the story of Star Wars.
Which is so cool.
Right. From the time you walk in the door, you are handed a dossier saying, here's what you are. You are a lieutenant first class in the Resistance.
Is this like, are you paying to LARP?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
That's kind of cool.
Pretty much live action role playing. And so you get all of these, get a dossier, you get tasks, you get things that you're supposed to go and complete, like go meet so-and-so at this point and get your orders. So you go into the park, you meet some character.
Is this real?
Yeah.
Like, you're not making this up?
No.
Oh.
You meet a character in the park, they say, oh, I've heard many stories about you, Lieutenant First Class or whatever.
Oh.
And then they give you like a task where you go and you fly the Millennium Falcon.
So that you like have to go ride the ride.
Yeah, and then if you do good and you report back to, say, the cantina at the Star Wars Hotel, the bartender's like, oh, heard you did a really good job, like smuggling something or whatever you were doing.
That's really cool. And I think one of the coolest things that you talked about, and I know you said you weren't generally a fan of this, the windows in the hotel are going to be like screen windows, so it'll look like you're in space. Very
similar to, on the Disney Cruise Line, they have what are called magic portholes for the inside cabins, which show you a live view of outside of the ship, even though you don't have a window to the outside of the ship. Same idea here, but instead of showing your day at sea, they are showing space.
I want to stay at this hotel at least once. I'm sure everybody wants to stay at this hotel at least once, but I want to see that just one time.
Yeah.
At least one time.
And all the rooms are themed to the nines. It looks like you're on a spaceship. And
well, somebody posted a photo of a room, of I guess the concept art of the room, and it does look cool, but what they said is that doesn't look comfortable.
Right.
And it didn't look comfortable.
Who knows? It might be, it might not be, but you're paying to be on a spaceship.
It'll be a really cool experience.
And then also the elevator is themed like a transport pod.
Yeah.
So that when you get in the elevator from your room, which is out in outer space, transport down to Earth so that you can go outside of the hotel and go to Disney parks. We did also get an opening date for Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
Which is summer of 2018, so that's really close.
It seems like it's more geared towards kids, but I really feel like I'm going to love the Slinky Dog coaster.
I think I will too.
Yeah, like even though it's a kiddie coaster, I think that it's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. And then there's the Claw ride too, right? The Green Alien ride?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a spinner?
It's a whip ride. So it's very similar to Mater's Junkyard Jamboree out at Disneyland.
Yeah.
Or out at, Disneyland.
That's, like, we ride that every time that we go, and I know it's geared towards kids, but it's really cute and really fun, so I have a feeling that I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Toy Story Land.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see the merchandise. Oh my gosh. I hope we get merchandise like they have in Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's really what I want.
The other thing that they're doing is, this will technically be a 3-ride area, because they're moving the entrance for Midway Mania, Toy Story Midway Mania, to the backside of its current building where Toy Story Land will be. I'm also curious as to what's going to happen with the current Pixar area of Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Like where the Green Army Men are all the time?
Yeah.
Because that'll be the back of a building.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's questions.
Yeah.
All questions.
I can't wait to see in 2018. That's really not far away. So.
Yeah. And the good news is there's going to be new ways to get to Hollywood Studios now, too, with a gondola system called the Disney Skyway.
Is it the Skyline?
Oh, yeah, the Disney Skyline. Sorry.
Yeah. I am not looking forward to the Disney Skyline. I know a lot of people are so excited about it, and I'm sure Tim will ride it, but I don't know that I'll ride it.
Yeah.
It looks scary.
And after looking at it a little bit more, I think some of the commenters were right. When I talked about it in the Hollywood Studios video, I don't think it's air-conditioned.
I don't know how it could be air-conditioned.
Well, there are some over in like Japan and stuff like that are air-conditioned.
These just don't look like that to me. I don't want to compare it to the monorail because the monorail is different than a gondola. But with all of the problems that we've been having with the monorails lately, with people being stuck and people having to like be evacuated and like, what do you do in a gondola?
I don't know.
What happens when the gondola breaks down? What do you do?
That sounds scary.
Yeah, so I know I'm being negative here, but I'm just trying to think of every possible thing that could happen in the future and give you reasons as to why I won't be riding in the gondolas. But Tim will ride in them for you. So
yeah.
If you want to see what they look like.
And so we don't have an opening day for the gondolas yet, but we do know where they are running. They're running from Art of Animation, Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Epcot, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and one of the other announcements.
Where?
The new DVC resort called the Disney Riviera.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Which is a 300-room DVC resort that will be right behind Caribbean Beach. And
because we're not DVC, it doesn't excite me too much. Like,
I'm
not super excited, but what? Sorry.
You know what excites me about it, though?
What?
There's going to be a rooftop restaurant with views of both Hollywood Studios and Epcot's fireworks.
Okay.
So.
All right. I'm a little excited. No, that sounds awesome, actually. That sounds really cool. There was one more thing I wanted to mention about the gondolas, though, are the gondolas going to be more like a ride and less like a transportation system like the monorail is at Disneyland? You know how the monorail at Disneyland is more like an attraction? It's more of a ride?
It's a good question.
Because I can't imagine that the gondola will be faster than the buses.
Right.
So there's a reason why you're taking the gondola. Like, you're taking it for the scenic, like, route.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did this. The gondola will never do this. Like, that's not what they do. But I feel like that's, like, right? It's more of a ride at that point.
And especially it's going to take longer than the buses because you have to do transfers.
Right.
There's going to be, if you're leaving from Pop Century, there's going to be a transfer at the Riviera.
Right.
Or, yeah, it's just transferring depending on where you're going to. So it's not going to be a straight shot from Pop Century to Disney's Hollywood Studios. You might have to transfer off and get on another gondola to go towards Hollywood Studios.
See, that to me seems silly. Like, I get why they're doing it. I think it's going to be like a people eater, but it doesn't seem like a good mode of transportation to me.
Right.
I can't wait to see what these look like, and I can't wait to see people actually using them, because I probably will feel differently when they're actually built.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's an exciting time, I think, right now at Disney. But back to the Riviera Resort. So, for those of you that are DVC members,
yeah,
cool new place for you guys to go and stay. So Riviera is French, right?
Yes. They haven't really, all they've announced is concept art, so we don't know like what the full out theme is. I'm sure it will be kind of like French modern, maybe.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know either. I made that
up. That's exciting. Yeah. So, is there anything else cool at the Riviera Resort? Was that it?
No,
it's a new resort.
Just announced, yeah.
So, I wonder, will they have like DVC bungalows? And what will they be?
It's a good question.
Yeah. What does a French bungalow look like?
I don't know.
On the French Riviera.
Ooh.
What does it look like?
I don't know.
I'm excited. So there's that.
Yeah.
This is the thing that the most people have been like giving pushback about, which I totally understand because it's Disney's Hollywood Studios,
right.
Which they are closing the Great Movie Ride, and they are turning that into a Mickey-centric ride, which is cool because there is no like ride based on Mickey Mouse.
Right.
And this entire park
was
started with a mouse.
Right.
So like I do think it makes sense that we have a Mickey-centered ride. This ride is called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which is really hard to say.
Right.
I'm excited for it. I think it's probably going to be cute.
Yeah. So It's based off of the new Mickey Mouse shorts, which is kind of like, in our eyes,
yeah.
It looks like it was animated by the animators from Ren and Stimpy.
Which is kind of like weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like that animation style, but it is kind of strange.
The other thing that they're introducing with this is they say that they're developing a new technology because they say, at D23, they said, this sounds really neat because you're going on a screen-based ride.
Right.
And he's like, sounds like you're going to need 3D glasses, doesn't it? And everybody's like, yeah, it does. And then he's like, you won't. They're calling it 2.5D.
But I wonder if that's because there's going to be a lot of practical effects, and it'll be like the screens in the Navi River Adventure, where you're literally in a river adventure, like a river ride, but there are screens that kind of mess with your depth perception, so it looks like there's much more happening than there is in the background.
Yeah.
Do you think it'll be like that?
Maybe. They sort of showed a short clip that was very hard to figure out what was going on, but it sort of looked like the medium that the projections were being projected onto was moving and changing shapes, almost like transforming depending on what was being projected on it. So maybe 1 second it would be just a bunch of trees that have trees projected on them, and then the trees would flip around and disappear and turn into a solid screen so that you could be like riding a train with train things going by you.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. Actually, okay, so that... I was a little bit bummed, but I feel like that description, because I actually hadn't heard that description and I didn't see the video from D23, but that sounds really interesting and really cool and really like cutting edge.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, Great Movie Ride is wonderful, but I also think that it is outdated.
Right.
So, and I also was kind of bummed when they took away the like spieling, when like, remember when the cast members used to like sit and say everything?
Yeah.
I miss that. No, I'm excited for the Mickey ride now.
Yeah. So last day for the Great Movie Ride is August 13th. So, gotta get your rides in now. So, let's move from Hollywood Studios to Epcot.
All right, I like it.
So Epcot kind of got a lot of announcements.
Well, I think that Epcot, people were excited to see what they were going to do with Epcot, and I know that some people are upset with what they did with Epcot. So how do you feel? Like, are you excited about the stuff with Epcot, or are you one of the people that's more upset with what they're doing with Epcot?
So, I am kind of 50-50. Like, I am optimistic that hopefully... So, let's go through some of the stuff that they're announced.
Yeah.
And we'll kind of, like, go through what some of our optimisms are and maybe some of our gripes.
Our gripes.
Yeah. So, the first thing, the biggest thing on the list that everyone was rumoring about is that Guardians of the Galaxy is coming to Epcot.
Yes.
And we thought it was going to be a Mission Breakout. It's not.
Well, I think another thing, just really quick, going back to Hollywood Studios, some people were thinking that our Tower of Terror was going to be changed into Mission Breakout. It isn't. So that's a good thing for me.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I haven't been on Mission Breakout, so I don't know how awesome of a ride it is. But I do love our tower.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm happy that it's going to Epcot.
Right.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is taking over Ellen's Energy Adventure, which I do have to admit...
I've only ridden it once.
It's very outdated.
I've only been on it one time.
Like, it's bad. It's bad how outdated it is. It's basically sponsored by fossil fuels, which...
Yeah, which is weird.
They talk for like a minute about like renewable resources, but we've come so much further than, I believe Ellen's Energy Adventure opened in 93.
Wow.
So...
That was a long time ago.
We have advanced greatly since then.
Yeah. So I think that to me, it makes sense that it's going there.
Right. The good news is a couple of people in the fan community tweeted at James Gunn like, hey, listen, you're putting your IP into one of the most sacred places on
like,
Disney property.
We will protect Epcot at all costs.
Right. And they're like, here's what Epcot stands for. And James Gunn tweeted back, he's like, don't worry, I know, I got it. You guys will love it. And so...
Basically, he said, I don't know if you knew this, but Peter Quill went to Epcot one time.
Right. Which is the silliest thing I've ever heard in my life.
How, like, is that going to be in the ride?
I hope so.
Like, he's going to be, like, getting his picture taken with Figment at Epcot?
I hope so.
Okay, all right.
It'll be awesome.
I'm excited to see if this is going to be, like, a tall ride.
No.
Or it's going to be a flat ride.
It takes up the same space as Energy.
But, like, does it take up the same space tall, too?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just going to be the exact same layout?
It's not going to be the same layout, but that's a big building. So
okay.
We've got a lot of room to do stuff. hopefully it'll be another trackless dark ride, which would be fantastic.
I hope it's a roller coaster.
It would be cool as a roller coaster too.
Yeah.
Because Epcot doesn't have a roller coaster.
It doesn't. Well, it had the Sum of All Thrills.
Right.
In Innoventions, where you could create your own roller coaster and like go in the pod thing.
Right.
Which I know is not... Isn't that gone?
That's a good question. I haven't been in Innoventions in a while, but it will be gone. Because another thing that we got announced at D23 was an entire redo of that area.
Yeah.
Communicore.
Yeah.
So the concept art that they showed is kind of willy-nilly. Can't really figure out what's going on. We can tell that the Fountain of Nations, the big fountain just behind Spaceship Earth,
does all the shows,
is being moved back towards the entrance.
They're moving the fountain?
Yes.
How?
Well, they're just going to demo everything and build a new fountain. So they're going to build a new fountain closer to World Showcase and then put other stuff. We don't know what.
It sounds very mysterious.
Yeah, it definitely is. So one of the other things that was announced was Mission Space. Mission Space has been behind construction walls for a little bit now, and they updated the green side.
The green side is like the non-barfy side.
Right.
You probably won't throw up on that. You might, but probably not.
So one of the updates that they gave to the green side is they changed the height requirement, so more guests will be able to experience it.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Along with the update to the green side of Mission Space, we are also getting a Mission Space restaurant, which sounds really exciting.
Do you think it'll have the same technology as the Star Wars Hotel?
Yeah, it's
like it'll have the windows and you'll feel like you're on the space station?
Yeah, it's going to be a circular restaurant with screens all the way around you with views of outer space.
And you're like, is it a spinning restaurant?
I don't know, but I will tell you this. Circular restaurant close to Mission Space. I'm sorry, but I believe the Wonders of Life Pavilion is being converted into a Mission Space restaurant.
Oh, do you?
Yes. Which it hasn't been used. It only got used during festival seasons for like special events, but still, it's a sad day in the history of Epcot.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I didn't realize where it was going. Like, that's the last thing I think of, like, well, where will it go? What will it take up? I'm just like, oh, a new thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, no. I'm excited to eat there. I want to know, like, what does space food look like?
They better sell astronaut ice cream.
Well, don't you think they'll have, like, cool, like, molecular gastronomy type food?
I hope so.
Me
with
too.
all of the stuff that we've had, like,
at
developed for Food and Wine.
Yeah, like at Food and Wine, they have the like nitro ice cream, and they have all kinds of really weird, like the gastromolecular. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, like that kind of stuff. I'm excited.
So we wanted to throw that out to you guys. What kind of space food do you think that they're going to be serving? Leave us a comment down below.
I'm curious to know like what you guys think.
What's your favorite space food?
I know what I think it's going to be, but like, what is it really going to be?
Right?
Yeah. Space food.
Space food. Also, though, one of the things that is a staple of Epcot is Circle Vision. So we did get the announcement that the China Pavilion will be getting a new Circle Vision movie.
Well, truth be told, I've not seen the first Circle Vision movie in China.
Oh, we should go see it.
Yeah, I've only ever seen the Circle Vision movie in Canada.
So, and who knows, maybe those other ones will be updated as well, because what we learned at D23 is that they have updated the Circle Vision camera to an all-digital rig.
Okay.
And it will be the first seamless Circle Vision movie.
Like the screens?
The screen, there are not 6 individual screens anymore.
It's like
There's now
one big circle?
One big circle screen, no joints in it. Basically like watching on like your Google Cardboard or whatever, where you can look around.
Oh.
Like filming on a 3D or a 360 camera.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on a grander scale, on a Disney scale.
Yeah.
And we did get the announcement that the France Pavilion is getting the Ratatouille ride.
Oh, yeah. Which I'm very excited for. Some people were also saying that they hope that this is not a clone from the Ratatouille ride in Disneyland Paris.
Right.
However, if it is, I honestly won't be mad.
Yeah.
I won't. I haven't been there, so I don't know when I'll get there to ride the original ride. So having it here in Walt Disney World doesn't make me mad. Like, I'm happy to have it here.
So the basic gist of it is you are shrunken down to the size of Remy.
Yeah.
And then you go throughout Remy's world where stuff is a lot bigger than you. And it is a trackless dark ride system. So using GPS and stuff like that, you never see the track.
Well, what's another trackless system at Disney?
Phantom Manor?
But like that we have at Walt Disney World.
We don't have any.
Is it just Ellen's Energy Adventure?
Well, we do have like Great Movie Rides trackless.
Oh, right.
Ellen's Energy Adventures
I
trackless.
knew there were more. Okay.
But this is the new version of the trackless ride system. So, has a lot more movement, it's basically like Spider-Man without a track.
Oh, so we'll be like doing all kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yes.
Ooh, okay. And then also, don't get mad at me. I haven't seen Ratatouille yet.
Oh.
So, I know.
We need to get you to watch all kinds of movies.
Boo! So, I'm excited to see the movie and then ride the ride.
Yeah.
That's something that I think, well, maybe I'll wait to watch the movie until it's like just about to be opened.
Ooh. That'll be exciting.
Should I do that?
Sure.
All right, I'm doing it.
Why not?
Okay, don't spoil it. No spoilers.
Oh no, there's a rat that cooks food.
Oh!
One of the other things that was announced was for Magic Kingdom. And this one's really exciting.
I'm pretty excited for it.
So there was a lot of rumors flying around saying like the Grand Prix or the Tomorrowland Raceway is going to be taken away and replaced with a Tron coaster. Good news, both. It's not like the Grand Prix.
Well, not both. It's not going to be taken away.
Yeah, it's not being taken away.
But
Tron
we
coaster,
are getting Tron.
Yeah, we're getting the Tron coaster. It's going behind the Tomorrowland Speedway, just to the left of Space Mountain. So if you're familiar with the smoking area to the left of Space Mountain,
oh yeah,
that is going to be taken over by a Tron coaster.
Well, and also the thing about that is that was one of the really good trails for Not So Scary.
Yeah.
So where are we going to get all of our candy?
Maybe inside of the Tron coaster.
Probably
you have to
not.
catch it as you're
I highly doubt it. Yeah.
It
looks really neat though. Like somebody was saying, because we talked a little bit about this in our live show today, and somebody was saying like, we don't want to have a clone from Shanghai, but for me, it doesn't necessarily matter so much to me that if that it is a clone, which I think it is for sure going to be a clone, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you want to see what that ride is like, just search for the Tron coaster in Shanghai and watch a POV, and then you'll know exactly what we're getting here. But the thing that's cool to me is that I'm never probably going to get to go to Shanghai.
Right.
So to have it here is very exciting to me. Even if it is a clone, I'm not really that mad about it.
Another thing coming to Magic Kingdom on Main Street, but we're not really sure where on Main Street, is a new theater based off of the Kansas City Theater called the Willis Theater.
Do we know like what this is for? Or did they say?
I don't know. They did not say what it was for.
And it's not taking over the theater where Mickey and Tink meet.
Not that we know of. There's been some rumors as to maybe it will take that over. And then there's also some rumors that maybe it might be taking over an unused area back along the Main Street bypass, which is whenever they're letting out from the fireworks and there's a lot of people trying to get out of the park, they'll open up some backstage areas for people to get out quicker.
It makes sense that it would go back there because it seems like there's a lot of space back there, but also earlier when we talked about it, you said that they would have to like theme the backs of the buildings.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
It makes sense to me that it would go there, but I don't really know.
Right.
I'm excited to see what they're going to put in it.
Yeah. Because who knows? It could be a movie theater. It could be a special use theater. It could be a live action theater.
I wonder if they'll use it as like a meet and greet for maybe somebody else.
Maybe.
I wonder who.
I don't know.
Leave in the comments down below what you think the theater is going to be used for. Maybe you guys know more than we do.
Right. There were a few other things that were announced at the Disney Parks panel, but
this video is just going to be solely about Walt Disney World. That's all that we're talking about in this video. What do you think is your favorite thing, your favorite change that's coming?
Tron Coaster. I'm excited for Tron Coaster.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Maybe it's a tie between that and Ratatouille.
I'm pretty excited for Ratatouille, and I'm actually now very excited for the Mickey ride, for the Runaway Railway.
Yeah.
That sounds like, I just want to see what they're talking about.
Yeah.
What is this 2.5D? I need to see it.
I know. I need to know.
Yeah. So, and I'm also very excited for Toy Story Land just because I want to ride Slinky Coaster, but I also want to see the merch.
Yeah.
Like, I just really want to see the merchandise.
I'm also excited that Goofy is now going to be in a ride. Oh, another thing that I forgot to mention about the Mickey ride is that it will have the most hidden Mickeys in one spot of any Disney attraction.
Oh.
So that's
that'll
exciting.
Be fun. Okay, that's
like
cool.
I don't know if anybody will ever find all of them. That sounds
people
like
they'll
a
try.
task.
Yeah, it seems to me like they're going more into the like all ages direction.
Yeah.
So like everything they are kind of making for all ages, all heights. Disney is obviously geared more towards like families, and they want to make sure you can everybody in your family can ride the ride, which I think is really awesome. But I am kind of bummed that we're not really getting any thrill rides other than Tron.
Right.
And actually, from watching the Tron POV, it doesn't seem that thrilling.
Right. It's not like a crazy thrilling ride. It's Slinky Dog Coaster and Tron are going to probably be around the same thrill level.
Okay.
You're looking at about Big Thunder Mountain.
And I do love Big Thunder.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'll be good.
All right. That was my only gripe. You know how we were talking about our gripes earlier? My only gripe was like, well, I want a more thrilling like set of rides.
Slinky Dog is a launch coaster though, so.
But it's a kids launch coaster.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like how fast you really go.
Right.
And how high you really go. I know there's no inversions or anything like that, but I don't know. I don't know. That was my only thing that I was like, man, but everything sounds pretty awesome.
I do have a good little bit of like good information.
What? Was all this rest of this information was bad?
No, like something that's a good thing to know that. So with Pandora, one of our gripes is that there's no wheelchair access. Like you have to transfer out of your wheelchair. I know for a fact that Ratatouille has wheelchair accessible ride vehicles.
They all should.
Yes.
Like this is Disney World. They should all be wheelchair accessible.
Right.
It's kind of a bummer that they did that in Pandora, and I think that the reason why they did that was something to do with the theme of Pandora, but I'm happy that people will be able to ride these other rides in a more comfortable way.
Right.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that was everything. Oh no, there's one last thing. So in yesterday's video, if you saw it, you know that Tim... No, was that yesterday's video or was it the day before?
It was the day before when I went to
Epcot.
sample the Food and Wine Festival food.
He was at Epcot and they rode Test Track.
And we'll put a link to that up here and in the description down below.
While he was going around the circle, he saw the minivans, like they were under their little covers. So it's exciting to know that they're here.
Yeah.
And
they have been uncovered and have been seen throughout the resort now.
But what I don't understand about these minivans, so basically what they are, we didn't really explain that. They're a ride-sharing system like Uber.
Right.
It's like taking a cab, basically, from park to park. Or rather than taking the bus, the monorail, the ferry, the gondola when that opens, you can take these minivans, and it's just an Uber, basically. And
the funny thing is they're not actually vans. They're Chevy Traverses, which is an SUV.
That's really funny.
So
they just wanted to get that like pun name in there.
Yeah.
But it sounds pretty cool. It sounds like if you have an extra couple of bucks. Actually, I don't know how much it is.
$20 for 6 people.
Oh. And it's only to take you from the park just once?
Yeah, and that is anywhere on Disney property. You can't take it like to the McDonald's outside of Disney property. You can take it to the McDonald's on Disney property.
But you can literally, it's $20 to get in at Ticket and Transportation and take it to Epcot.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure. We don't have a lot of information. All I've heard is $20 for 6 people. And only on Disney property.
If you're a family and you're like trying to get somewhere quick, and let's say you have kids that are like, we just want to go here, and you're just trying to like please people quickly, I think the minivans are a good idea.
Yeah, say you're late for your dinner reservation.
Yeah.
And you need to get there quickly rather than waiting for the bus.
But still, I feel like it's kind of a money grab.
Yeah.
They just don't want Uber to get the money.
Right.
Which I think is like...
Funny thing is that if you call an Uber, what would be the same ride on a minivan is probably about $8 on Uber.
But can you fit 6 people in an Uber?
Yeah.
Man,
if you order the right Uber, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the minivans are probably not something that we would use because we have our vehicle when we go to the parks.
I might use it once.
We might use it just to show you guys what it's like.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that, but I can't see us using it like all the time. I don't think it's going to be like a necessity for us. But I can see how people on vacation would probably love to take advantage of this system. And just the fact, like, if you're with kids and you tell them you're getting into a minivan, like a Minnie Mouse's car.
And it's like pink polka dotted, it shows up.
I could see that being really cool for kids to be like, I'm in Minnie's car. Like, I think that would be really neat. And we probably won't use it.
I don't know. It might be pretty cool. But then again, it's Disney expensive. And so there you have it. That is all of the Walt Disney World news that we got out of the Parks and Resorts panel at D23. I'm excited. I'm excited for all of the changes coming. Like, I don't think there's anything that I'm like, I can't believe that that's happening. Like, there are some things that we're bummed about that were going to be, like, going away. But we are still excited for lots of new stuff to be coming and change. Like... Walt said, Disneyland will never be complete. I know this isn't Disneyland.
Right.
But we're still ever changing. Walt Disney World is a constantly evolving thing, and it's a great thing. It's so exciting to see what's to come.
Well, I think that's definitely a good way to put it, is that people were not sure what was going to come out of D23 because I guess in years past, there weren't a lot of announcements. It was kind of just more about like buy the merchandise. And we got a lot of announcements. We are going to have so many new things, and we're going to have so many cool things. And like, I think that technology is finally being updated and upgraded. And that I think is the most exciting thing, is that we are actually getting these rides that are trackless vehicles with 2.5D. What is that? I don't know. I have no idea. I can't wait to see what that is. You know, like, I'm just excited to see it in the parks. That's all. Long story short, I'm excited.
Yeah. So, with that being said,
yeah,
we are off, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And now it's time to pay the price.